Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Why am I dressed as a pirate or an Romanian outlaw? Because we're gonna cover Romania again, so we gotta do it. Ca un haiduc. So what happened? Well, a journalist is a journalist, right? I mean, sometimes journalists make mistakes and they work for media outlets that have special interest. All media outlets have special interest. There are special interests. They work to promote a certain kind of narrative. Regardless who you are, CNN, Russia Today, Investia, whatever you are, Deutsche Welle, BBC, you have an agenda. There's no such thing as impartial media. Even if you say, well, I'm for the truth and justice, that's my agenda right there. Now, it could be a noble agenda, but it's still an agenda. All right, so what do we have here? We have a journalist working from Russia Today. He's an Irish journalist working for Russia Today, Russian media outlet. And this gentleman, this journalist, landed in the capital of Romania, Bucharest, to cover the elections, the Romanian elections. Well, he was detained, picked from the airplane, detained, arrested, and sent back. Now, this is the level of Romanian democracy, freedom of speech, and all that. It's just a mirage. I knew it was. Some of us, know what's going on. That's why when you talk about Ukraine doing some, how do you call those, inspections to the weapons to see where they went and all that, we know how those things work. There's nothing. It's on the paper. That's what it is. We know how things function in those areas. We know ourselves. Let's put it this way. So what happened here? I have here five articles, and the last one has the interview with this journalist from Russia Today, who's going to tell us his experience in NATO territory, in the European Union, in the world of the free people. Remember the free people, the West, the civilized West. It's only a mirage. Romania, as I said, never had democracy. When some people on internet made some videos regarding the Romanian cancelling the elections and banning Mr. Georgescu and all that, and the end of Romanian democracy. No, it has never been a democracy. It was a very much controlled form of democracy, like here. You think this is democracy here? All right, well, I don't want to go and vote on a voting machine with a computer program. I don't want that to happen. I want it on the paper with my signature, with a stamp, hand, on camera. I want that to happen. I don't want the computers. I don't want a program to give me how many views I have and how many subscribers I have. That could be fixed in a second. So leave me alone with a democracy, okay? So this guy went over there. He was not allowed to enter. Why? It was not acceptable media. No free speech. Why? Because Russia Today is deemed by some gatekeepers of the truth as being not on our side, not promoting our interest, which is we have to win, those guys have to lose. Why? We don't agree with what they say. So let me go over these articles. Do you think that I found any article in the mainstream so-called media in the West regarding this journalist being arrested and deported? Do you think I found any? Of course not. Why? The gatekeepers of the truth in the West, in the free world, thought that that's not important for you to know. They have an agenda, special interest? Of course they do. Promoting this, hiding that. And if they're going to cover it, they're going to cover it for half of a second. And after half of a second, you're not going to hear about it again ever. And if you say, hey, we didn't cover it, we covered it, remember, on Wednesday at midnight for half of a second. What do you want? And we didn't think it was that important to you. All right, so manufacturing consent. I think that was Noam Chomsky or something. All right, here it is. Russia Today. Excuse me. A Russia Today journalist detained in Romania. Che Bowles has landed in Bucharest. Don't ever go over there. I went over there. I will tell you my experience with Bucharest, my friends. I never wanted to land in Bucharest again, ever. And I did because of some circumstances. And I landed once. I don't ever want to deal with Bucharest, ever be in Bucharest, unless I'm on a mission. And I don't want to deal with those people at the airport and the people around. Just so you know, fuck it, let's go. All right, to cover the presidential election, RT journalist has, I would say, Che Bauz, has been detained by the Romanian authorities upon arrival in Bucharest on Thursday, where he had traveled to cover the country's upcoming presidential elections. I played with a cat and I must have inhaled something. But hey, it's always medicine ready for you if you inhale some cat hair. Some French beer. Guinness. Don't shoot me, guys. All right. According to Irish reporter, police boarded the plane immediately after landing and were specifically looking for him. And I'm quoting, they only wanted me. Came onto the plane, asked who is Che Bauz, and 6 of them took me from the plane. The officers reportedly told Bauz that their superiors wanted to interrogate, and question him about the purpose of his visit to Romania. I'm waiting for this next time when I show up in Romania. But as I said many times before, I would like to go back to Romania as the Jewish Walter Roman, the father of the former Prime Minister of Romania after the revolution, Mr. Petre Roman, Jewish and Spanish guy, but Jewish is more important, came to Romania. And he came on the Soviet tanks. That's how he came into Romania. You didn't know that? Well, that's the way I want to go into Romania. I want to go on tanks to help have a cultural revolution. Not like Mao Zedong kind of revolution, but we need to squeak something here to understand that people can speak freely, that you don't have to beat them up, you don't have to scratch their cars, you don't have to destroy their family's reputation. People can talk. You might not like it, turn around and either argue with the person, bring counter-arguments, or move. All right, don't have to beat him up, don't have to be a Romanian. All right, let's go. Now, let me show you how many media outlets in the West cover this. So I said, right, Russia Today, journalists detained in Romania. Pretty clear, right? And what they find, let me do it again, right here. I found the journalist on MSN, big news, Russia Today, obviously, News Pravda, Romania News, Deep News, do you see any social press, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, anybody that would defend the journalist? No. This is the world we live in. Excuse me, a mirage, a matrix. All right, let's see what's going on. This is Maria Zakharova saying that ban of Russia Today journalists proves Romanian election a meme. Why was Călin Georgescu banned for irregularities? How about someone counted some more votes for that guy and not for the other guy? Irregularities in his campaign? Is that all you got about that guy? And now Simeon took his place? Remember, as I said before, these guys in the West, and I have to say it, you might disagree with me. I'm generalizing, I understand that. But in general, these guys in the West, unfortunately, most of them, or I can make a poll opinion, but a lot of them, let's put it this way, lost their soul. They don't know who they are. They don't know who their parents, grandparents, ancestors. They lost the spirit of their nation. They were made to lose it. Like we all the same. Diversity is our strength. So they don't know exactly who they are. They think a baboon like me, Romanian, landing in Germany for one generation, I'm a German. I'm not a German. I'm a Romanian. But anyway, maybe I can acculturate and become acculturated with German culture. It's a different story, but I will always be genetically Romanian. Anyway, formed by Romanian culture, by our traditions, by our experiences. Even if I'm a German citizen, I will still feel and act most likely as a Romanian. A baboon Romanian or a genius Romanian. There are geniuses as well in Romania. So, my friends, as I said, the Romanians are playing democracy. So I was saying that I lost my anyway. People lost the sacrifice, the idea of sacrificing something for something greater than themselves. Sacrificing their lives, for instance, for an ideal or an idea. That's why when these guys, for instance, in Israel, or even fighting an idea. They don't understand in the Middle East. They're not fighting the Palestinian people. They're not fighting the Iranian people. They fight against an idea, like the spirit of Christmas. I mean, you remember it was that, how do you call it, with the Grinch stealing the Christmas. The Grinch, the bad guy, stole the Christmas tree, stole all the presents. That means eliminating everything. You know, the Palestinians and Iranians. But the guys just realized in the morning that, hey, the Christmas tree is gone. The kids started crying, oh, the presents are gone. Santa Claus did not show up. And then they got around in the market square alone in a bare market square. They held hands. It was as a cartoon, but impressed me very much. I never knew about the Grinch in Romania. We don't know about the Grinch in Romania. Zero, nothing. Anyway, so they held hands in a circle in the market square and they started singing carols. So that is the spirit of Christmas. I think it was the cartoon, a baboon cartoon. I watched it because I had to watch it, not because I wanted to watch it. But I learned something. It was the spirit. But that coincided with what I want to tell you right now. You can't, it's an idea. It will leave like freedom. Remember, whatever his name's, William Wallace in Scotland. Remember, it's an idea of freedom. It's not the people. You can kill this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. It's the idea that will be passed from one generation to another, from one nation to another nation. It's a general thing. The same with democracy and with the ideals. Let's say they destroyed Călin Georgescu, but the idea did not die. Excuse me, god damn it. The idea was just transferred to, what's his name? George Simeon. So from one to another one. So, and if this guy's going to take care of, until they just eliminate everyone who has that idea, they will win. So yeah, okay, Georgescu is gone. Simeon is going to go. It's going to be Kosman. Kosman is going to be gone. It's going to be Gigi. Gigi is going to be gone. But the idea is going to transfer for one another. These guys don't understand that. So now they say we're going to ban Russia Today. It's not going to be only Russia Today. It's going to be Tsitsi today. It's going to be Boo Boo today. It's going to Lala today. It's going to be something else. People want to know. You can't keep them forever. Remember, Abraham Lincoln said many things, but one of them said, you can fool people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time. You can fool some people sometime, not all the people all the time. The same here. You can keep the Romanians down or free people for a while, some of them, but not all of them all the time. So the same, these guys are showing up and these guys are banning them. I'm not going to find out what's going on over there from the Romanian media. It's like I'm not going to read it. But listen, look at this. Nothing in the West. Total silence. Nothing. Nothing, my friend. Nothing. Right there. Nothing. All right. Che Baus was taken for questioning from a plane as he landed in Bucharest to cover the upcoming vote. The detention of Russia Today correspondent in Bucharest proves to the entire world that the upcoming Romanian election is a meme. Russia foreign, okay, but who knows this, Maria? Who knows this? Can you see it here? Can you see? Who knows this? I'm going to do it again. I'm going to refresh this. Who? Who's covering it? Not the whole world. Not. It's just you. You and I, and a few like me. Okay, the Romanian election really is a meme, she says. The Russian Today correspondent was arrested despite not having violated anything, having followed all former procedures and having crossed the border legally. Tells us that they knew about his arrival and they were ready to pursue him and to make sure that he could not carry out his professional activities, that he could not cover the Romanian elections. Freedom in Romania, huh? The situation around the elections in Romania is so scandalous. It's so dead-ended, it discredits the level of that pseudo-democracy in Romania. There's zero. There's no democracy, my friends. Zero. Next one. No free press in NATO states. British presenter on Russia Today ban. Okay, was detained. We all know this thing, and we're going to have the guy talking about it. Watch Russia Today journalist speaks out after deportation from Romania. All right. They say labeled him a threat to state security. They will always create, if I land, let's say in Romania, they can stop me over there and they can send me back to the United States of America if I'm lucky and say I'm a threat to national security. Who's going to say what? Are you going to say something? Yeah, I'm going to say something. Slap, you go anyway. You have no chance. I'm going to cry to the embassy, American embassy. Probably they provided the Romanian with the information I'm going to land there. It happened to me in Germany, my friends, so I know how things work. All right. I was presented with a document which was presumably stamped by a judge. They wouldn't let me have a copy of it. They wouldn't let me take a photograph of it. It said that I was a threat to the national security, the security of the state. How? And on this basis, they were deporting me from Romania. All right, let's see this guy. Let's see. I didn't play this one before. Let's see. All right, let's see if this is going to work. God damn.
Well, I've arrived in Istanbul safely. Thankfully, it's been a long, tough day. I arrived in Romania, in Bucharest, from Dublin, within the EU. And when I touched down in Bucharest, a group of police officers, before anyone was allowed to leave the plane, were outside on the tarmac. And then they came up the ramp and they asked the cabin crew, who were very close to me, where I was. I identified myself, and 3 of these police officers came onto the plane and told me that I had to come with them, that I was being detained. So I was taken down the steps of the aircraft with all the passengers, watching in amazement, and taken directly into an interrogation area where I was asked questions in the vehicle by some of the officers where I was going, who I was going to meet. I explained to them I was a journalist. I was there to cover the elections. They wanted to know who I was going to be speaking to, which I declined to tell them. I said I'm here to cover the election, and with that I was brought to a holding area. I was made wait for a period of time, and then I was asked to come into a smaller interrogation room with 2 chairs and a table. I was sat down in the table. Again, there were some checks of who I was, and then I was presented with a document which obviously was prepared. It was stamped, presumably by a judge. They wouldn't let me have a copy of it. They wouldn't let me take a photograph of it. And it said that I was a threat to the security of the state, and on that basis they were deporting me from Romania. Now, I'm an EU citizen, and it's a fundamental breach of my rights, the rights of journalists. I'm a member of the National Union of Journalists also. I'd entered the country completely legally to do my job, and this is really quite shocking, but it isn't that shocking in the context of what's been happening in the European Union on a wider scale, particularly in Romania, and it's something I've been very, very vocal about. Now, I have to say, the police officers themselves, the Romanian people who I met, were absolutely courteous, very kind, and I really find it hard to believe that the ordinary Romanian people had absolutely anything to do with this or would support this, the idea that somebody would come to tell the story of what's happening in the country. So it's a very sad day, I think, for European freedom of speech, for global freedom of speech. I think we also have to ask ourselves, did anyone listen to J.D. Vance in Munich when he said that the European Union had to stop clamping down on freedom of speech? I think it's obvious to me, and actually to some other people who I met through this journey, that this came from Brussels rather than from Bucharest. So thankfully now I'm heading towards the end of the journey, a real eye-opener. But we go on, we push on, and we don't sit down, and we only take fire when we're over the target, as we say.
Yeah, yeah. No surprise here. No surprise here. I avoid going to Bucharest. I avoid dropping there. As I said, Romania is a vassal state to the first order. Not unlike Hungary or Slovakia. No, these guys are just followers and cowards. I'm talking about the people who have power. But sometimes I should not maybe be so rough, because I do not know what blackmails and what threats run behind the scenes. But Romania is a very interesting, to put it as a euphemism, country. Sometimes I watch certain interviews in Romanian language, and I'm saying, yeah, that's good, that's nice. I'm glad I'm not here. Why? I would either be arrested or killed in that country. really, if I would stay longer. It's a country where if you love justice, truth, decency, I'm not saying they're not Romanians like that, but they're overwhelmingly suppressed by the rest of the baboons over there. You don't like it, that means you're one of the baboons, straight, okay? You don't like what I'm saying? All right. Romania is not a democracy. Romania has a flimsy freedom of speech, pick and choose. Democracy over there is among mafia guys, and no. It's no surprise to me. Remember, this guy is a European Union citizen. But anyway, what do you want? I know people who landed in the European Union and they were banned for 5 years, and they were banned for 3 years, just because they had a speech, free speech, had a speech, and then or because they participated to some meetings. Not illegal meetings, nothing underground meetings. When they landed, they told that the Polish government requested in Brussels that persons to be not allowed in the European, banned, and so on. I mean, I can give you some names if you want, and you're gonna identify them as being bad people, but you know, bad people or good people, freedom of speech should be respected regardless if you're a criminal or not. I mean, right? Or you don't like what I'm saying, it shouldn't be banned. But this is the level. European Union is just a pretense. And it's from that, what this journalist said, what's next? So you can see a trajectory. First, you ban something, then you arrest someone, then you interrogate someone. So let's say you get the Gestapo. What do you think is next? They're gonna hurt you. They're gonna beat you. They will leave you without food. I will tell you a story about, actually 2 stories about what happened to me. One in Poland and one in Germany. I don't know, I will start with the Germany one. I made a video on that one. I was not interrogated, but I made a video on that when it happened in Munich. I was stopped and I was asked about what I'm doing, what this channel is all about. They wanted to do a mock program, like, what do you do? Show me. I say, hey, hello, my friends, blah, 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 blah. And what do you talk about? How many subscribers are? Who are your subscribers? What do you talk about? What is your subject? They were very interested in this particular thing in German, Munich. It's very dangerous in Munich, in Germany, because they can do a lot of things to you. If you say something about something that's illegal for them, you could be arrested. Like denying, I don't know, that something exists, like the moon. If you say, I don't think the moon is really as big as you guys say, you go 5 years in jail. You know what I'm talking about, right? The 6 million moon size, 6 million meters moon size. If you say, I don't think it was 6 million, the size of the moon, I think it was 7. Even if you make it bigger, it's still denying the mandatory size of the moon. I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right? 6 million meters in the moon. So that was in Germany. It was, the other one was in Warsaw, Poland. I don't fly through Warsaw. I don't go to Poland now more than before. I was stopped. I told this story again. I was with 2 children and an elderly person, and they stopped me and they took me in a different room. It was not a room, it was like a hallway with no windows, no chairs. It was just a hallway, which I think were 3 doors. The entrance doors, in that, one door over there and one over here. Doors without windows. So it was no windows. It was just a passing something between. And they had me, I was a US citizen. The other 2 children were US citizens, and the other person was not a US citizen, but it was related to me. So they stopped me over there, and I said over there, with all this, I asked, what am I doing here? I was not in the interrogation room. I was not in the waiting room. There was no chairs. Remember, the children were small. They were crying and all that. So I sat over there for about between, I can remember, maybe 45 minutes to an hour. Some people were passing through. I was asking them questions in English. They look at me, move on. I was a US citizen. I was detained against my will. Nobody told me, just wait over there. Why? What's going on? Just wait over there. That was done to me as a US citizen, my friends. US citizen. And yeah, I remember, I can do this in front of a judge, I can do this in front of a lie detector, I do whatever you want. You can check my itinerary, you're gonna find me there. There were cameras over there. I'm there, I was over there. And at one point, after all this, after I was waiting, the kids sat down, lay down, blah, 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 blah. After this, they opened the door and said, you can go. What happened? What did I do? I don't know. My passport was with me. They didn't take my documents or anything. They just, out of everybody else that we got out of the airplane, that's what they did to us. Just the four of us. Nobody else. Nobody else. Now, what is this? I mean, that's detention without, I mean, it's illegal detention. In Poland, I don't fly to Poland ever. I don't cross the border into Poland. I don't step my foot on Poland. Poland had that guy banned for 5 years in the European Union, and then for 3 years more. Poland. Why? Because the guy was supposed to participate in a legal lecture that the government of Poland did not like. And this is the European Union. No, it's just a pretense. Romania, when it was a communist country, socialist country with the communist government party, was brutal in a way of, how do you call that, rudimentary. The level was low, but they learned from the West to do the same thing, but in a nice way. In Romania was, give me your fucking money. It was the government. Give me your fucking money right now. I'm going to slap you around. In other words, of America, it's easy. Please give me your money now. It's just the same outcome, different way. Just a different way. The mass media here lies to you in a nicer way, a little bit more elevated, under the cover. In Romania, they would lie you straight. You're like, come on, all right? They're more primitive, they were then. But then they learned from these guys how to do it. I remember I knew a lot of people in the security services in Romania, and one colonel disclosed to me that during the communist times, their listening devices in people's houses were not bought from Moscow. No, they were brought from Germany, from West Germany, from France, from Great Britain, from United States. So they were buying the best installation to listen to us from the Westerners. They had the best means to listen to their population that they were selling to the communist security service or secret police to listen to us illegally, supposedly. It was illegal. Now they listen to us in America legally, of the Patriot Act. They can listen to you legally. As I said, give me your money, please, sir. Over there, it was illegal to listen to you, but they listen to you. Here is legal, and legal they made it with the Patriot Act, and they say, what do you mean it's legal? It's like unbelievably fake. And this is the new face of the West, or all the time the face of the West, how we want to take it. So this guy right here is just experiencing something that I knew for a long time. A lot of people like me know it for a long time. He's like, oh my God, what's going on? Nothing. Business as usual. And that's going to happen in your country once you stop looking under the carpet or pulling the curtain to the side and look behind. And you see who's talking and who's who, what's what. Immediately they will infringe your privileges, not your rights. You don't have privilege. You don't have rights. Rights, if you have a right, the right cannot be infringed. And the right doesn't come from governments or other people. The rights come from being around, from the nature, from God, they say, from the Creator. So if that comes from the Creator, it cannot be limited by a human being. Otherwise, that's abuse. So that tells you have privileges. That guy that was banned, free walking around for a clumsy reason, if I show up in Romania tomorrow for all the things I said here, I'm guarantee you I can be very much got under this and even more. Because the next step is not interrogation, is beating up, is threats and blackmail, and then kick you out. Or maybe the family will never hear about you. I'm not being dramatic here, but we are human beings, my friend. I don't think we are different than the guys about, 7,000 years ago or 10,000 years ago. We're just a little bit more veneered. Veneer is covering something, look good on outside, and inside is garbage. That's why we are veneer. Before, the plaques from outside the veneer, the put together shit, it was not there. Right now we just cover it and, we're civilized. We're not. We're the same guys the same guys. We might be a little bit more, we're not going to cut throat of an insult right there, but we're going to fire that person, or we're going to ban that person, or we're going to cancel that person. And that person, if he's not going to find the job again, he's going to be starving, and his family too. So, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.